therapy with Sun Show Sunday. Yeah, here we are, trying to get it in before Monday. Everything is going to be all right, cause I said so, cause I make sure that we in the flow. You know, we got a lot to talk about today. Talk about people getting locked up. Yo, what you say? When you don't have a lot, doesn't really matter. If you get locked up, you ain't leaving your spot. When you have a lot of possessions, that's when the things get a lot sticky. But I'm picky when I think about the things that will stop you from being the queen or king. Well, it's hard to be a king from jail. You can be a kingpin, but that's really a fail, and that's not the way that you saw your life going. But if you live the kind of life, then you should be knowing that it's going to end up like this. Yo, you got fried like fish, and I say stop this, but you won't listen. All right, what's going on, y'all? Urban Therapy with Sun 752. That's me, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I want to say grand afternoon to all of y'all. And we're going to talk about a little something different today. We've touched on this subject before, but not the way that we're going to do today. Today, we're asking, who can you count on if you ever got arrested? Who could you count on if you ever got arrested? Me being a black man, there's no way I can go throughout my day-to-day existence without contemplating the risk of being arrested for something. I mean, anybody can get it, but I don't want to get all extra political, but just the reality of the situation is that it can happen to any of us at any time. But when your color is like this, yeah, it multiplies the possibility of you having to dig yourself out of that hole. Now, a lot of people who don't understand what happens to a person when they get arrested and when they are taken down to the magistrate or to central booking or whatever it is where you get processed. People don't really think about the amazing toll. They don't think about the toll that it takes on a person's business. And I'm not talking about their business as far as any monetary things that they have going on, because we already know that takes a hit. But just the day-to-day activities that you may take for granted, that you may engage in and indulge in, those things take a hit. And these are things that we don't think about a lot. So we're going to ask some questions today. But the main question that I'm concerned about when doing this show is, does the impact of getting arrested or locked up for a lengthy amount of time, does it affect those who have a lot way more than those who don't? And I'm going to tell y'all and get into why I asked that question, because I want y'all to think about it. Think about it. Like, if you don't have anything to lose, if you disappear for a while and nobody was checking for you when you was out on the streets, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, does it? But if you're the type of person who has their hands in a lot of things and has worked their way up to building some things, all of those things come to a screeching halt when you're not there to maintain them. You're not there to navigate them. You're not there to direct. You're not there to be hands-on and making sure that they get done. So who can you count on to maintain those things? There's some things you're going to lose. When you go to jail, you lose a lot. And we're going to talk about some of the things that you lose that we don't think about all the time. These aren't the things that they talk about when you watch the court shows, or when you may hear about a trial that's going on that's in the media and things like that. We don't really think about it. Like with OJ passing a few weeks ago. It was a few weeks ago, right? Last month. Let's just say last month. With OJ passing last month and people still talking about the trial of the century in the 1900s. We never really thought about some of the things that OJ may have had going on that had to come to a stop. We think about the money because we know that he wasn't going to be getting acting gigs and whatever businesses that he had, whatever business ventures and things like that, endorsements that he had set up. We know that those things took a hit. but we don't always talk about, or never have I heard anybody talk about the day-to-day things that may have taken a hit in his life. And these are things that the person who gets locked up has to deal with, that other people on the outside may write off as being trivial or not of great importance. But for the person who's going through this, it can add to the stress of fighting your case. It can add to the depression that you feel because you've lost your freedom. And God forbid you are arrested and charged for a crime that you actually did not commit. So that's what we're talking about today on the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Thank y'all for coming through. Let me start these shout outs pronto, or should I say now, ahora. All right. Stacy White, thanks for coming on by. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. And Carol Chamberlain, me friend, me favorita, always a good time. Really great to see you. And Eddie Kane Jr., what's going on, my dude? I appreciate you coming right on through. And Emily Dunlap is in the house. Bow! She about to turn it out. And Care Bear, what's going on? I see you there. Thanks for coming through. Yeah. All right, so let's get it popping. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. We do this every single Sunday from 1 p.m. till around 2:30-ish. And the reason that we say 2:30-ish is because sometimes it gets so heated that we just have to do a little OT on a Sunday. And it is Sunday. This is the show where adults come out and play with other adults. We laugh, we cry, we argue, fuss, and fight, go back and forth with each other, bust it up all crazy. We take an introspective look into our own personality to see the way that the universe projects us into this thing called the world and try to figure out this thing called life. I'm your host, Sun 752, aka Omar with the rrrr. And if you can't say Omar with the rrrr, well, then you just say Omar with the R. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun show. I'm feeling like a real man should, and I hope y'all feel like real men and women should also. So today on this Sunday, we're going to go in a little different direction, but we're going to talk about something that may get your intellectual, cerebral thoughts pointed in a direction that you may not have ever really thought about it before. So we're talking about who can you count on if you get arrested? Who can you count on? You know, you can be arrested for some minute thing that you never really thought about before. And here you are, loss of freedom. Things like driving on a suspended license. You may have failed to pay a ticket somewhere and did not get a notification that your license was pending suspension because you could have moved to another place and somebody or you didn't receive your mail, so you didn't get the notification that your license was under suspension or your registration was under suspension or something like that. There are plenty of states that will arrest you and impound your vehicle if you are driving or found to be driving on a suspended license. It's a minor offense and it's something that's easy to fix. In the state of Pennsylvania, if you get caught driving under a suspended license, you do not get locked up. But in certain states, I know some states down south, yeah, you gotta go stand in front of the judge. Yeah, you get locked up for that. And you get processed for that. You may even have to post bail, all because of a suspended license. So something that probably only would have cost you for a moving violation, maybe $100 or so, or maybe a couple of $100. Now it's going to cost you upwards of $1,000 or more. Getting a lawyer, posting bail, and even though you get some of the money back when you post bail, you don't get all of the money back. So let's say your bail is $500. You're not getting $500 back. You know, bail is just to secure that you will come to trial. That's all bail is. That's all bail is used for. A lot of people don't understand the reason for bail. They think it's some type of punishment. No, it's just to ensure that you will come back and go to court, that you will appear in court. And if you don't appear in court, then you are tried in absentia. But if it's a serious enough offense, just not having you incarcerated will not be good enough. Then they will seek you out and send bounty hunters after you, and what are the U.S. Marshals in some cases when we're talking about a violent crime. But anyway, you know, yeah, there's anybody can get arrested, male or female. You know, we normally think about men getting arrested because by percentage, more men get arrested than females do. But women do get arrested. Yes, they do. And they often have to fight cases and all of that. I've seen women with the ankle bracelet, the ankle monitor. You know what I mean? The house arrest ankle monitor on their ankle. And I'm surprised none of these rappers have made it a fashion statement, to my knowledge, because I'm sure someone has. I'm sure. All right. So that's what we're talking about today. The impact that getting arrested can have on a person. I'm going to talk about some small things that you might not think about when you get arrested, and who's going to take care of these things. You may be a master crafter, and you may have started some projects that were going to be either personally lucrative to you or lucrative monetarily. You know, when you get arrested, you don't get a chance to say, oh, listen, I got to water my plants at home.
90 seconds.
Oh, shit. What have I done? Hold on. That's Blog Talk telling me that I'm dumb. Now, last time when I didn't set the right duration of the show, they got my ass about it, and they still shut the show off at 15 minutes. So let's see what happens this time. All right, looks like we might be good. We good? I think we good, y'all. I think we good. Yeah, but yeah, the police are not going to allow you to go home and water your plants. They don't care. You may have just come out for a second to go to the store. You wind up getting locked up when you were at the store. You may have left a pot of beans on the stove. Guess what? That house is going to burn down. Speaking of burning down the house, this is where the toll of getting arrested really affects a person. Because how are you going to maintain any place that you live when you get arrested? See, when you don't have a lot, you don't have a lot to lose. But when you have some things, and when you're building some things, and you have some things in the works, that's when the gravity of getting arrested or locked up for any length of time really starts to weigh on you. That's when it really starts to hurt. That's when you feel the really tough, tight pinch. What's going on, Quentin Lyons and Olga Beck Emastov? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. And Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Thanks for coming on by. And Ashlyn Krisman and Nate here. He says different laws in Hong Kong. That's crazy. Oh, Hong Kong? Different laws in Hong Kong? That's what's up. So yeah. You have if you have let's say you just bought a new house. You know, you don't have equity in your home yet. Who's going to pay that mortgage for you? That can have an adverse effect on your credit. Hopefully you're getting out soon. But what if you're not? What if you have a case that you need to fight for a length of time? That's why most people try to make bail as soon as possible, because, you know, if you pay your bail, then you can get back out there on the streets and start to put the things in place that will keep your stuff going. Speaking of keeping going, we're going to keep going with some of these things that take a big hit when you are arrested. Yeah, things like watering plants, things like the food in your refrigerator, things like a garden that you started, things like appointments that you needed to keep. Maybe, excuse me, they could be business apartment appointments. They could be appointments for your health. Oh yeah, you'll get a definitive health check in prison. However, it won't be good health care. No, which is interesting because if you are a ward of the state, you would think like, oh yeah, I get government health insurance. Well, not exactly. You definitely get state health insurance, but not necessarily government health insurance. Shit is fucking crazy. We don't always think about these things. It's real shit. It's real shit. And of course, we think about our children. If we have young children that need that, I didn't think of this. I just thought of this one. What if in your family you're the only one that drives? What if you are the only one in your family that drives? So the car is still home, but you're not. Kids may have to go to school and they may not go to their local school. They may go to school in another county. If they go to private schools, speaking of private schools, who's going to pay that bill? Who's going to pay that bill? You ain't generating income while you are locked up. You may just have a regular job. You may not have residual income that's coming in. And even if you do have residual income that's coming in, who's going to maintain it? Who's going to make sure that the money goes where it's supposed to go? This is why trust in somebody is so important when you get locked up. It's probably best to if you're going to get arrested, it's probably best to have a spouse. Like, damn, I knew I should have married that bitch. I knew it. Yeah. Because if she's your girl, she might or she might not take care of your stuff. All your stuff. Because ain't nobody there to do it for you. Bat Wayne, what's going on, Bat Wayne? and Ty says hair looks nice. Well, technically beard is hair and a mustache. Thanks. But yeah, who's gonna make sure that your life still stays on track while you are trying to get free again? Who's going to do it? And how long will they do it? Because you could be looking at some real time depending on the seriousness of the offense. And that's whether you are guilty or not guilty. And here's the thing. While you are fighting a legal defense, when you're fighting a legal defense, it costs a lot of money. And it's set up to do so. If you don't want to invest in the legal system, then they will give you a public defender. And if you get a public defender, depending on the seriousness of the crime, your ass is pretty much good as gone. Because they don't have the time or the resources, and they have too much of a heavy workload for free to investigate your case, to have private investigators go out and get witnesses and find out exactly what happened. So normally when you have a public defender, what happens is they normally encourage you to take a deal. And you're like, but I didn't do it. Well, you say you didn't do it, but the state has evidence to say that that you did do it, and we don't have the resources to prove that you didn't, other than your word. But they gave you a pretty good deal. You might want to take it. And this is when, real shit, this is when race doesn't matter. because black people look at it like the legal system really screws us all the time and all of that. One of the reasons that the legal system screws us is because we don't have money to fight. I'm just being real with you. Of course we have dealt with racist practices within the legal system, yeah, but one thing that reduces the power and access of racism? Money. Lawyers know it, judges know it. So you wonder what a high powered lawyer does that a smaller lawyer or less known or notable lawyer can do. They can investigate your case. They can find out what really happened. And they don't even really have to find out what really happened. All they have to find out is what the state knows versus what can be proven. See, the state may know, or they may have witnesses to say that you did this and that. But if they don't have hard evidence, a good lawyer will say, well, sounds like a whole lot of that is hearsay. Y'all have some people who said that they saw it, but many of those people are drunks, drug addicts. Some of them had mental illness problems, and some of them were sworn enemies of my client. And we can prove all of these people to not be credible. They all have credibility issues. That's what a high-powered lawyer does. That's all they do. But here's the thing. Let's say you have enough money to retain a lawyer. So let's say $15,000 just to retain the lawyer. That's to get a lawyer. See, the lawyer still has to take your case because he's been hired. But he or she does not have to fight your case effectively. So they may have information that's going to exonerate you. They may have information that is going to prove that the state doesn't have enough evidence to prosecute you. So you can get the case thrown out, or you can go to trial and win it. And they have proof. But the thing is, they may need $50,000 in order to do it. You already gave them 15. They might need 35,000 more, and you ain't got it. So guess what? He can't find that evidence. He's not going to be able to find that evidence that exonerates you. Yeah, he has to represent you because you paid him to do so, and he signed on for it. But he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to represent you effectively. And so many people have gotten locked up for many years beyond ineffective counsel. But that's what the ineffective counsel was. That's what it was. We don't always know this shit. We don't know this unless we're told or shown. Many people who have been victims of this type of legal beagle, finagling, they didn't find out later on until they were locked up for a long time and started to go to the law library and found out, like, oh yeah, he didn't fight my case for me, or the state never had evidence to prosecute me or convict me. They didn't have that evidence, but my lawyer didn't tell me that because I couldn't pay him. I couldn't pay him. So that's what we're talking about. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. What up, Bat Wayne? Thanks for coming on through. Quentin Lyons. Wait, was Bat Wayne? I don't remember you writing in Russian yesterday. Okay. People must have the AI phone. You must have the Samsung 24. You know what I mean? Quentin Lyon says, been arrested 4 or 5 times and never really thought about the small things like the beans on the stove or watering the flowers. Yeah, man. We don't think about those things because we're too busy thinking about our freedom and trying to get the fuck out. But you might have had a project started. You know, when one thing we do think about, Quentin, when we get locked up, if you got a stash of money somewhere, I bet you be worried about that. Because, you know, if somebody finds that money and you ain't around to stop them from getting it, you are as good as robbed. And many people who have gotten arrested have had to go through this. But even if you have a bank account, your money is sitting in the bank. You can't get it. You can't get it. And no, they're not going to give you your ATM card and take you to an ATM or let you be on the phone, long enough to take care of business to be able to get the money out. And who's going to receive the money? So yeah, all kinds of business matters are totally obliterated when you get locked up. But who can you trust to make sure that your money goes where it's supposed to go? Who's going to, I mean, you listen, if you have a baby mom or baby dad, yeah, more than likely you'll be able to trust them to get your kids to school and make sure that they're fed and clothed and taken care of and all of that. Not everybody can count on the other parent to do that because not all parents are in their kids' lives. So this is when being a 100% single parent is tough. Now here you are, 100% single parent, and you done got your ass locked up. I wouldn't give a shit if it was only for a day or two or the weekend.
90 seconds.
What? All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Now it clearly says an hour and 1 minute.
60 seconds.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Let me see if I can fix it this way. Okay. See if I can fix it this way. Because you can call into the show and I mean, hold on.
To start your show now.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
I don't know what it's gonna do. I don't know what it's going to do. What the guan? Because it's not. I don't know. If it goes out, it goes out. I can cue it back up, and I probably will. Probably. Wait a minute. This is crazy. Wait a minute. Now that 60 seconds is up. So why is it? Oh, it ended the show. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Hold on. All right, but in the meantime, because I can multitask. I can do this. I can do this. Watch, just watch me. Meantime, let me say schedule for this many minutes. Okay, and all right, wait a minute. Let me get the show description first. And okay, so yeah, there's you know, you don't really know who is going to be able to take care of your business for you. Like, who can you really trust? Because you're going to need somebody that you can really trust if you get locked up, because you're going to lose everything. That's why people who don't have a lot, like if you don't have your own place, you don't lose your own place. If you don't have a car, you don't lose a car. If you never had a license or any type of certificates that need to be renewed, if you're going to be locked up for a number of years or something like that, or if there's the threat of that happening, then you don't lose any of that kind of stuff. But if you were somebody who was progressive, who was upwardly mobile, who was working, who was trying to do things, who was making moves, who had strong connections in the community and with their family and friends and loved ones, then you lose a lot by not being there. If you had your hands in a lot of different things, your hand is in this pot and that pot and that pot and that pot and that pot, you lose all of that. That's what happens with that. You lose all of it. So it makes it really, really hard. It makes it really, really hard to get back to what you were and what you had going on when you get locked up for any number of time. But you're going to need somebody that you can really trust. And trust and access breaks down over time. Like, let's say you got locked up and you thought that you had enough money to take care of things and handle your business while you were down. So let's say you left, let's say $20,000. Like, okay, with this $20,000, what I need you to do is keep my mortgage paid. All right. Are you sure that the person that's handling your business is going to pay that mortgage? It's not only the mortgage that needs to be paid. Are they going to keep the lights on, the water, the heat? You know, I imagine you wouldn't need cable, but you may actually want somebody to live in the house for you to make sure that people don't vandalize your home, burglarize your home, or whatever. What good is a home that is totally insecure? Or should I say unsecure? What good is it? And you're not there to protect your home. You're not there to protect your kids. You're not there to protect your spouse or your girl, your man. You're not there. You're not there. And you're also not there to raise your babies. You're not there to make sure that they are protected. You're not there to make sure that they understand the things that they need to understand out there in the world when you can't be there, because you are totally not there. You are separated from the world. You don't, your rights have been reduced exponentially. You're behind bars. You can't even leave the facility. And people can't come and visit you at the facility the way that they want to. And they can't do it under privacy either. So, any deals, any pending deals that you had coming up, not going to happen for you. Not going to happen for you. All right, incognito. What's going on? Thanks for coming through. All right, Buckshot says, how you doing today? Oh, hey, would you look his son comedian with another page from the book? So let's take a look. I don't know. Okay. I had to come through to let you know that I appreciate you. I appreciate the show. So let's go. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Don't you know? Appreciate you, Buckshot. All right. All right. John says, how much that gold worth? How much is your teeth? You got any gold on your teeth? He says, oh, you waffle. No interaction. Okay. I'm bounce. Okay. Bye-bye, John. Bye-bye. What's that? Oh, wait. Oh, he said he's been arrested 4,080 times. No wonder you got mad because nobody gave you any attention. This old dude is buff. Y'all funny as shit. Jose Cordero. He said, the way the society is. And Gordo, he said, are you okay, sir? Yeah, I'm fine, man. And Quentin says, the logistics are insane when it comes down to it. Yeah, it is. It's not made, they say that you're innocent until proven guilty, but it's actually proven to be the other way around. Your incarceration and the fact that you have bail set that's sometimes beyond what you can pay is proof that you are guilty until proven innocent. It's proof. You are detained until everything is said and done. So, it's hard because you are expected to pay for a defense that you can't get to. So somebody that you trust is going to have to make sure that the lawyer gets the money that they need and make sure that witnesses are being called, being contacted, evidence is being gathered, evidence that will exonerate you and prove you innocent instead of guilty. Somebody on the outside is going to have to make sure that your lawyer is doing their job, because you can't run up to the law office and be like, yo, what's going on here? I need to know something about my case. I haven't heard from y'all in a couple of weeks. You can't do it. So somebody is going to have to do it for you. And going back to this whole, if you have a house, yeah, will they pay your mortgage? Will they pay your utility bills? Are they going to take some for themselves? Because they are essentially acting as a caregiver. You only got $20,000 and you ain't making no more money, homie. You behind bars. You in jail without no bail. God forbid that you got knocked for a murder and you didn't do it. Victim of circumstance. You got to get a criminal lawyer. So that 20,000 cash that you had was doing you really, really well while you were on the street, because you're making more money and you're building on the 20,000. You might have been trying to get the 20,000 to 30,000. That's something you can't do while you're locked up. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. You may have had a meeting pending, that was going to put some more money in your cash. Put some more cash in your pocket. You missed that meeting. And depending on who knows about the meeting, you couldn't even call them and let them know that you why you couldn't make it, or when they could reschedule, or there's nothing you can do. And it may have been something that you needed to do personally. Like that meeting could have been a business meeting in which you were going to grant services to that entity, so you would be making more money. You ain't there, and you ain't going to be there, and they ain't going to wait on you. They got to go get somebody else. And did we talk about your job? The job that your 9-to-5 job that, God forbid, you already had attendance issues. God forbid that you had attendance issues, because you can't even go to HR and be like, listen, I need to take a temporary leave of absence. How long? Till the case is over. I'm trying to get a speedy trial. But you're not there to do that. Is your girl going to do it? Is your man going to do it? Is your brothers or your sisters going to do it? They have lives too. They have to put their lives on hold for you. Will they do it? Some people will. How long will they do? How long will they do it? That's the question. How long will people ride for you in that vein? You know what I mean? So, like I said, when you don't have a whole lot of things going on, you really, really feel the impact when you get locked up. Man, put this. Trying to get this blog talk thing back up. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go. Now we can do it. Boom, 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 boom. So, on the blog talk side, you can call into the show. This is a totally interactive show. Even if I'm late, responding to your comments, believe me, I will respond to your comments. We are talking about who can you trust if you get arrested. Who can you trust when you get arrested? Because you're going to need somebody that you can trust when you get arrested. You're going to need them. One thing you need when you're on the inside is somebody on the outside that you can trust. And if you don't have that, it's a wrap. When people talk about starting all over after they get out of jail, they ain't bullshitting. But just a weekend in jail can fuck up some shit for you beyond repair. And we don't always think about it, but we will think about it today. Yes, we are. Yes, we will. All right.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
Get this blog talk thing back up. Tajinder Singh says, hello, what are you doing? Are you disturbing others?
To start your show now.
That's an odd question.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's an odd question. Am I disturbing others? You came over here. You came over here. I got to do this twice. Or for some reason.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
If you only do it one time, it won't take callers effectively. If y'all would like to call into the show, if you would like to express yourself, if you would like to talk about this topic, if you have something on your mind,
since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
And the number to call is area code 319-527-6199. That's the number to call. I said a 319-527-6199. Yes, y'all. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 319-527-6199. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 319-527-6199. Press number 1, and that will let me know that you would like to speak, and then I will call you out by the last 4 digits of your telephone number, and you can rock on and do the damn, do the damn thing. PS says, sell the chain, fix the teeth. How about you eat a dick, go away? Sell the chain and fix the teeth. Yo, eat a dick and go away. You can go away and eat a dick. I'll give you enough time. Your hair dry and drop down. You think you're going to come on my show and treat me like a hoe while I ain't going to tell you so. It's not going to work. Yo, I got the camera. I got the mic. I can say anything that I like, and I'm here. And other people come to see me here. That's why you here. You fucking tear that drops off like the... Yo, don't make me get ill today. What up, Natasha? And she says, hello, I still couldn't reach you. I have some enlightenment to share. Well, I told you the contact information is in my bio, but I'll give it to you again. My email address is sun752@aol.com. sun752@aol.com. If you want to call into the show, you can call into the show right now. And the number to call is area code 319-527-6199. Please, somebody put that in the comments, and you can call. Listen, there's no censorship on this show. That's why I told the boy to eat a dick. He could have told me to eat a dick. I would have got mad at him. My skin is thick. My skin is thick, so I don't get mad at it. But it's all good. It's all good. I ain't mad at you, PS. I mean, think about it. You don't have no real life. How can I be mad at you? It ain't nothing. All right, so. All right. My brother Ansel Jones is in the house. What's going on, my brother Ansel Jones? How you feeling, my G? And Frank says, I pay $2K a week in child support. Brothers, stay single, guys. Speaking of child support, that's another thing that you can get locked up on. I mean, locked up for. You know, plenty of men have gotten locked up for being in arrears in child support. And plenty of men have gotten served with paying child support payments that will not allow them to live a regular life. And the courts don't give a shit. Because as long as the courts are making money, they don't care about you. That's why, as a black man, my number one job, my number one job in my community and for my family is to stay out of jail. No excuses. I have to make sure that whatever it takes, whether I have to run or stay, whether I have to be good when I want to be bad, whether I have to shut up when I want to speak, my number one job to my family, my children, my loves, my community, my world is to stay the fuck out of prison, because I'm no good to anybody behind bars. I don't give a shit if I'm Malcolm X. I don't give a shit if I'm Martin Luther King. I don't give a shit if I'm Louis Farrakhan. I don't give a shit if I'm Barack Obama. If I'm locked up, I'm no good to you. You know why? Because you have to make sure that I'm taken care of if I'm behind behind bars in jail. I can't do it for you. I can't get you to school. I can't get you to work. I can't make any money. I can't make appointments. I can't maintain relationships. I can't build relationships. I can't do anything. I'm of no service to anybody. You know what I am? A liability. Because I'm going to have to depend on you to help me to make sure that I'm safe, unharmed, fed, maybe smoke sick. I don't even know if prisons still allow you to smoke, whatever, but you know, it's money, so more than likely they do. But you know, whatever I need, I depend on you on the outside to make sure that I'm okay on the inside. Making sure that I have a legal defense that is getting me close to getting out of there. If I have to file appeals and things like that, I have to depend on you. My babies, my children, regardless of whether they are young children or older children, they will feel the impact because daddy ain't there. He's not there to protect them. He's not there to guide them. He's not there to teach them. He's not there to direct them. He's not there to do anything except hope that you'll bring them there to visit me. Behind bars, behind glass. Well, sometimes you get to go in the VI room and be with your kids, but it ain't all that extensive hugging and kissing and all that. No. And you sure can't spend the night over daddy's house. Can't do it. So these young cats out here that be glorifying going to prison, getting locked up. Oh yeah, I did my time, 10 toes down. I ain't snitch on nobody. I mean, you sound dumb. You sound dumb as shit to me. And then you mad when your baby mom found another baby dad while you was in, or she's fucking around with your cousin, your homeboy. Or she done spent all your money. Oh, she was depressed. What you think she was gonna do? You ain't leave behind a whole bunch of money. You left behind a maybe a half a brick of some weed and some and maybe, I don't know, $15,000 cash. She was depressed. She ain't got no man. All these niggas around the way trying to holler at her. She went shopping. Like, I need some retail therapy. I went out and I bought the kids a bunch of school clothes and shit like that. You gonna be mad? Your anger don't even matter. You behind bars. You got plenty of people to direct that anger on, and they gonna direct their anger on you too. Being locked up it ain't sweet. And anybody who has just gotten arrested, they realize, like, I've been arrested 3 times for DUI. And the first thing I thought about when I got locked up for each one, like, what about my car? Like, I knew I was getting out. It wasn't, my alcohol level wasn't like really high, but it was high enough for a DUI. So, but I'm like, what about my car? Only one time was it. Only one time was it not impounded. The other times it was impounded. So if I was in jail for a good while, like if I couldn't make bail, first of all, nobody knew where I was. I was by myself. Except one time. There was one time I wasn't all by myself. And guess what? This was the craziest shit. Because the third time I got arrested for DUI, I was on my way to the diner. We were going to go get something to eat. Me and my girl. And so when they locked me up, I didn't think I was getting locked up. I was like, I wasn't even really drunk like that. I really wasn't. And they didn't give me the sobriety test and all of that shit. I didn't think I was getting locked up. As a matter of fact, when they locked me up, they didn't even really put the cuffs on me. They put the cuffs on me. I could have took them shits off and just ran. No bullshit. I was like, what is this, a joke? So I thought they was just detaining me for a minute. I thought they were just detaining me. Because it was a sobriety checkpoint. So come to find out that they have to, after they give you the sobriety test, they have to let you sit for a minute, see how that go, and then they test you again and whatever. Anyway, so they told my girl, they was like, well, listen, his license and everything is straight, so you can drive the car home. She couldn't drive. Shorty couldn't drive. And it was so fucked up. I felt so bad about this shit. I never told nobody about this shit. Not like, at least not on the show. And I'm not sure if I told anybody about this, but yeah, she couldn't drive, didn't have a license. Like, not being able, the cops didn't even ask her, do you have a license? They didn't give a fuck. They was like, listen, go ahead, drive the car home. You don't want to leave the car out here. I don't know, these people around here, they might break into the car, some shit like that. She was like, well, I don't know how to drive. That's when I made the decision that even though I'd already felt that kind of way, I made the decision that I ain't messing with no chick that don't drive no more. You're a liability. So luckily, my car was still there when I got home. But I got locked up on a Friday night. That shit was still there on Monday morning. Luckily. So she couldn't drive. My car had to stay there. And she didn't have no money. It wasn't the Uber and all of that shit back then. She walked home. Do you know where she lived? In 2000 and what was this? 2009? I don't even want to go. I was like, you did what? I was like, you ain't have enough money to get on a bus. She was like, well, I mean, we remember we was at your house and then we went to go get something to eat. I ain't had no money because I didn't think I need. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You walked from Aramingo, Lehigh and Aramingo to where you live? Luckily, it was North Philly, but it wasn't the North Philly that was closed. From all the way from Port Richmond or Fishtown, what's that? That's Fishtown. All the way. I felt so bad. I did. I felt so bad, but it was my fault. It was my fault. At the end of the day, I wasn't thinking like, hey, babe, I didn't realize she couldn't drive. All right, we have a call on the line. We have a call on the line. Caller with the last numbers 3595. Welcome to the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind this afternoon? What's good?
Hello, what's good?
Man, everything good. I'm feeling like a real man should. What's up with you?
Good, I'm good. Actually, my name is Natasha, and I reached out to you because I wanted to ask you to do a subject on this specific matter.
Really?
And it's funny how I got on YouTube this morning after working. I'm a nurse and I work all of these hours. And I got on YouTube and saw you were doing a live, and it was on the subject that I was going to email you about. So, hello.
Wow, what a coincidence. Look at God.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I was listening to your subject about like not going to jail and how much it puts people in such a bind, even yourself. But there's even a deeper part of it, because once you do your time and you get out, you really need a lot of support, you know?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, so my thing is I ended up meeting someone. I was married for about 14 years. My husband passed away 5 years ago, and I ended up meeting someone about 3 years later, and he had confessed to me that he had done some time in prison. And I didn't know how long he had done. I just kind of like saw who he was and what he was trying to do with his life. And I was like, okay, well, let's talk about it pretty much later. Let's just get to know each other. Come to find out, he robbed 10 banks, did 8 years in prison, and here I go starting a relationship with this person fresh out, which was the dumbest decision I had ever made.
He robbed 10 banks?
10 banks, yeah, all over. And luckily he got out because of COVID. He thought he had something wrong with his kidney, and come to find out when he got out, there was absolutely nothing wrong. But he did 8 years and got out. And so I did get involved in the relationship with him, and I was just doing so well on my own. And it's funny because when I was deciding to make the step in living together, I had a journal that I had wrote years prior. And when I opened that journal, it said, "Don't let anyone interrupt your personal space to grow." What was the message in that, And I did not listen to that message.
Wow. Well, some people,
Yeah.
when somebody keeps it a secret about, what they have done in their past, and it may be something as serious as, committing a crime that way. Of course, I mean, it's not your fault for getting involved with somebody that you didn't know had done something like that. I mean, especially if they were treating you nice and they seem to be forthcoming in other things, displaying honesty. But you never know who may have robbed the bank.
Yeah, for sure. So I even told him that in order for us to be involved, once I knew the information, in order for us to continue to be involved, he would have to call my dad and tell my dad exactly what he did, because my dad used to be a police officer, and he did. He called my dad and told him exactly what he did. My dad asked him what was his plan to reimburse and what was his plan going forward. And just overall great guy. Just ended up being a very toxic relationship, and it took me 2 years in and lots of tears and so much energy and faith to get out of the situation. Being a starter wife for someone, it's like you're starting over when you come out of that situation. It's like you've never done life before. You have to do everything again, get your driver's license, change your name, get a job that will accept you. And it was just a lot of work, but he did it, he did it. And I was super proud of him. A lot of the mindset from inside, being a person to be in that relationship with someone who had never, I'd never had been in that situation before, or never been involved with someone, or even your family had been in that situation. So there was a lot of toxicity that came from that environment into our relationship.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot. I ended up dealing with a lot, but luckily I was able to get out of that relationship, and now he's in another relationship with his soulmate, and I'm so proud of him, because when I see pictures of them are, he sent me a picture of her together, and I saw them together. They were meant to be all along before time, I felt.
Okay.
And I'm just super proud of him for, getting himself together in our relationship. And when I ended it due to the toxic, a lot of things can't be undone, but you can decide that you're no longer going to be a certain way and take what you learned to a new relationship, but it just wasn't going to continue with me.
Okay. Well, let me
so, yeah.
Okay, hold on for just a second. I just wanted to address something in the chat. The Gooseman 305. First of all, I want to thank you for the super chat, and he asked a question: how do bail bonds companies make money? Bail bond companies make money by taking a percentage of the bond that you pay. So you pay normally 10% of the bond, and then they secure that with the courts. And so essentially your bail is paid, but they take a percentage of whatever you gave them for the bond, and then the rest goes to the court, and you still owe the court money. That's why when you jump bail, that's why they come looking for you, because they won't get back the money for the bond that they put up to the courts. And that's essentially how bail bonds work. So yeah, the money has to be paid, but using a bail bondsman is the easiest way to be able to post bail and be able to get out of jail without having to pay the entire bail amount. Okay, back to you, Natasha. First of all, I want to thank you for calling in, Natasha, and I wanted to ask you a question about. About your ex. How did he have any issues integrating himself back into society? Did he have any problems?
No, because
okay,
he would have had a lot of problems maybe if he hadn't got out and met someone that was strong and that was able to support him while he was trying to acclimate himself. But he did. He ended up getting a job for the city. His thing is honesty, letting them know exactly what he did and being honest. So when they ask you that question on there, have you ever been arrested? They're going to find out anyway. So just go ahead and just be honest with them. Tell them exactly. The only thing you can give is a yes or a no, So yeah, it was very difficult for him at first, a lot of loops to handle. And back to the bail, and what you end up paying the court. If you look at those receipts and see the itemized, the itemization of what you're actually paying, you're paying for the court to be rebuilt. You're paying for everything that you would never even know you're paying for, once you pay for that. I would definitely recommend someone look at their itemized receipt.
Yeah.
You'll be shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, they charge you for everything under the sun. So, one thing about being incarcerated is that, one thing about being in a part of the legal system, period, even if you are the plaintiff, is that it's going to cost you money, a lot of money. Sometimes you don't have enough money to be able to sue somebody. How crazy is that? You see these accident lawyers, these commercials for accident lawyers. Yeah, they are the only situations where you don't have to pay unless you win the case. In other cases where you are the plaintiff and where it's not a clear case of someone violating you, yeah, you have to pay up front, and it's not a slam dunk at all.
Yeah, and also you have to. It's according to the state that you're in too. It can get really bad, and a lot of people do have a hard time readjusting themselves into this society.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, part of the I'm sorry. Part of the reason I was asking about integrating himself back into society is because sometimes the person wasn't a part of society in the first place. Like in the case of a bank robber, I would imagine that he displayed some antisocial antisocial behavior. You know what I mean? Like, not too many people have the
Yeah.
balls to go and rob a bank. I don't know if he did it armed or if he just passed the note or whatever. But nonetheless, it takes someone who is a little bit detached from the structure
Yeah.
of of the legal system to even think about doing something like that. And 10 times, woo!
Yeah, for sure, 10 times. And then on top of that, during the process of him getting caught, the police ended up, doing something to him. And he ended up going into the police department and filing a lawsuit towards the police department while he was in the middle of robbing all of those banks. So he definitely had some balls.
Yeah, yeah,
He's a different kind of person.
yeah.
But he worked before. He had a job when he did do this. Some people would call it a white person's crime.
Mm-hmm.
So the time that they give you on those kind of crimes are not as bad as a lot of crimes, because even though you're robbing banks, it's still, a lot of times it's not a lot of Black people who commit crimes like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, actually, there are.
So, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, actually, there are. I knew a young cat around my way that actually was released not long ago, but it was thought that he was going to have to do 45 years. But he got home.
Mm-hmm.
He came home because there wasn't enough evidence to hold him. But he had already done about a good 5 or 6 strong before he was able to come home. But looking at 45, that's a lot better. I'd rather do the 5 on the 45 than the 45.
Yeah.
the 40 on the 45. So yeah, but
I don't think they had enough proof. I don't think they had enough proof or something, because they only gave him 10 years. So, something must have crossed in there, and it was a plea bargain that he took. So they didn't have the proof to really hold him down the way they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But just overall, coming out of that situation, you have a lot of trauma. You have a lot of mental illness that comes with you. You have just learning to just do normal life is very, very difficult, coming from situations like that.
Definitely. And
yeah,
and we have to take into consideration the impact that it has on the victims as well. The PTSD.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, many people suffer from PTSD and are unable to work in those industries or really trust people, where they work, if they're dealing with money or any type of interaction with people. It can have a devastating effect on people who aren't directly involved in the legal system, but it still affects them as well. So even though today,
sure.
Mm-hmm. So even though today we're talking about the impact that it may have on the offender or the accused, it still affects a whole lot more people, and that's really my point. That's the reason I wanted to do this show. Because until we can take a broad look at all of the players that are involved, we won't be able to look at incarceration or crime or the criminal justice system with an eye for detail, because we don't really understand it. We go by a lot of cliches. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime, and it makes it seem like we all know better, or we know good from bad, right from wrong, and all of that. But we aren't all taught the same ways, and we don't always understand, especially when we're younger, the impact or the gravity of our actions. We don't always get it. It's like if we're talking about something as simple as moving violations with a vehicle. Until they boot your car or tow your car or impound your car, you may not pay those tickets, thinking like, hey, they not worried about me. We got people out here, killing, shooting, stabbing, murdering, raping, incest, pedophilia, and all that kind of stuff. They're not worried about this car thing. Yes, they are. They have more than enough time to concentrate on you because you make money for them immediately. Your 300.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. That's how they make a lot of their money. They make more money on crimes like that than the crimes that you actually think that they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember being younger and just innocent and not knowing what to do with a ticket, coming from like a homeschool environment. My car broke down and I parked in a handicap. When it broke down, it just kind of rolled into the handicap, and I ended up getting a ticket in that handicap and just gave it to my dad, forgot all about it. Mm-hmm. And ended up losing my license and having to pay so much money. That's when I learned about the itemized, you know, what's on those tickets, but ended up going through a lot to get my license back. So that was very, very difficult. Even ended up getting arrested, you know, just not knowing. It was just innocence, you know. I wasn't trying to avoid them. I just didn't know the difference.
And so you have been arrested before.
Yeah, I had been arrested before. It's funny because I got that handicap ticket. I got the handicap. I parked in the handicap, got that ticket, forgot all about it, didn't go to court, didn't pay for it. They ended up putting a warrant out for my arrest. And then I ended up flagging down a police officer for something that was happening to me. I was at a store and some girl was pouring water and all kinds of stuff on my car with me and my sister, and we were just like innocent minded. So I saw a police officer when this girl is following me, and I'm like, hey, excuse me, hey, can you help? Can you like stop her from following me? And police got my name, put me in cuffs, and I went to jail. My dad came and got me out and was like, hey, that's not a place for you, is it? And that was the last time that I ever went. But, you know, I ended up losing my job at the bank because I couldn't go to work on Monday. You know, all kinds of stuff that happened in that process. I'll hopefully never go to jail again. I don't live a life that will ever put me in that place. But definitely it will destroy you, especially when right now, we have to like weigh our options on whether or not we're going to pay our food or our PG&E bill, you know, and now all of a sudden you got to pay for your in-town, getting your car out. You have to pay for, you know, not having a job. There's just so much that goes with it just for that one arrest, you know, and not only the stain that it has on your name.
So this show really was for you today. Ain't this?
Yeah, I told you I was gonna email you, and I was like, hey, do a show on crime and on how a lot of people are victimized just by the system. You know, whether or not you go into it knowingly and you're doing crime, or you're not going into it normally, because a lot of innocent people are being arrested for just things. I was completely innocent. Like when I say I was homeschooled, I taught myself everything, to read, to write, everything throughout my life. So I never had any interactions with the public like that. So when I got the ticket, I had no idea, you know, here, Dad, I got this happened to me. And my dad just like, oh, okay, well, we'll take care of it. And he forgot about it. I'm thinking that I'm 18 at the time, thinking that I could fix it myself. I just, you know, so a lot of times we get arrested for dumb stuff and it ends up ruining your name. Thank God that it didn't ruin my name. Being a nurse right now, you know, something like that could have gotten in the way of my, you know, license.
Yeah, but you did lose your job, and that's an impact. That impacts your ability to be able to even pay your legal fees, your fines.
Exactly. Exactly. And even applying for new jobs, you know, you're working at the bank and you're now applying for a new job and you're saying, hey, you know, you have to explain why you lost your job pretty much, you know, because they want to know in detail, did you rob the bank? Did you take money from the bank? No, I'm sorry, I got arrested. That's even horrible. You know? So there's you know, do I put it on my resume? Do I not put it on my resume? Like I said, thank God it did not affect me. I did go and work for other financial institutions. And it's funny because while I was working at these financial institutions, I didn't know my ex-husband at the time, but he was robbing them. So it was just like two different sides of the coin, you know?
Yo, that is wild. I want to ask you something.
Wild.
I want to ask you if you know this is all speculation, but if
Uh-huh.
you had known your husband at the time when he was robbing the banks, would you have been the type of person that he would have been able to count on when he got arrested? Would you have taken care of his business for him? Would you have made sure that things were taken care of? Would you have essentially performed your wifely duties? But
I
would you have been a responsible caretaker for him if you had known
I
him, or do you think you would have been?
I definitely would have. I definitely would have. Like I said, I was married for 14 years. I watched him take his last breath. My mom and my dad have been married for 14 years, and if that's my husband or my relationship, and we're good to each other, definitely I would have been there through everything, you know. And it's crazy because it goes even deeper. Because while I was, you know, he was robbing the banks, I was, you know, working for them. When he was getting in the process of getting arrested, I was actually working as a clerk in the police department. So it was just like the opposite coin of our lives, you know, that was happening. So I happened to be this person that maybe even if it was temporarily, I was supposed to be there to meet him, to get him acclimated back into society. So another Black man won't just go down and go into this deep hole after they get out of this situation of bad decisions. But I do know that I would have been there for him. He was in a relationship and had children, and she was not allowing him to visit with his children, especially while he was in there. But when he got out, his children didn't know him or want anything to do with him. I did try, when we were in that relationship, I did try to help him reach out to his children. I wrote his children, you know. One of his sons got arrested. I went down. He couldn't go down and see his son because of his history. So I went down and saw his son and just tried to do everything I could to help him get back his life, you know, while he was here. So definitely, I know that I would have been the woman to stick by him.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, because you know, we want to make sure that we reduce the rate of recidivism is when you commit crimes again after you've already been after you were supposed to be have been rehabilitated and all that kind of stuff. So, but the thing is when you don't have a support system to on the outside while you're on the inside, if you don't have a support system on the outside to help you know that things are going to be prepared for you when you come home, and that things are going to be okay, it can reduce your motivation to even try to fight for yourself, or to really give a shit. You know, depression depression in prisons is a real thing, and you don't have enough time or the comfortability in there to really deal with the depression other than acting violently on it, and that makes things worse and worse and worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we met, he was literally like three weeks out of being in. Luckily, he has a great mother who took his, you know, took his funds and did some things with them. So he was able to, you know, start out pretty well. But meeting me a few weeks later, you know, things like not being able to drive, being on an ankle monitor, having to only go out 3 hours a day, having to get to DMV and all of these different places, and having somebody to take him here and there, you know. So I think that we were meant to meet when we did. He was not meant to go through my life journey with me, and I wasn't meant to go through his life journey with me, but definitely I think we were meant to meet because all of the stuff that I was tough enough to deal with and take, because if I was the wrong type of woman, he would have ended up back in there, and spent more time just for some of the violence that came with him, you know. And coming from a situation of a mom and a dad together, I never really saw violence, and I never been in an abusive relationship either. So I could have been in a situation where I could have gotten him arrested a few other times. But that's not who I was meant to be for him in his life. And like I said, he was able to get it together. And I did end the relationship after he did get everything together. And now he's in a new relationship now. And when I say they look like they are supposed to be together. I am so happy and elated for him, you know?
Yeah.
But you do need a strong support system when you get out.
It's absolutely paramount. And that's taking into account that the person who did it is really guilty. Because
Yeah.
if you're not guilty, or let's say you didn't do it, because guilty or not guilty is a legal term. If you did it or if you didn't do it, that's the impact that it has on you. You know, so serving a sentence for a crime that you didn't commit, for something that you didn't do, makes it extremely hard. It makes it exponentially tough on you physically, emotionally, mentally. And I mean, people have gone crazy behind this stuff. But but the thing
Right.
is, anybody and everybody, as you have bore witness to, is affect anybody who gets arrested sees like, yo, this is that. If you can get arrested and say, oh, you know what, that wasn't that bad, then something is wrong with you. You know, because most
Right.
people are like, yo, this is not it. Like, they don't let you do anything.
Yeah.
Like, you might just
They
need
don't.
to
And
you might just need to tie
I'm
your.
sorry for interrupting you.
No, I was just going to say, you might just need to tie your shoes. They're like, no, you can tie them when you get to,
Yeah.
like simple shit. Like, it all stops. You are no longer in control. It's a wrap for you.
It also messes up the person who decides to be there for you, because I mean, you know, like if you do meet a woman who's there for you, automatically there is a stain on her name. Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you be involved with someone like this? And even being with him, once I had to get a background check done while I was working for a credit union, they found out that I was in a relationship with someone who had done this, and I lost that job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it puts a stain on the name of the person who's helping you too.
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
Yeah.
It affects a blanket of people. Anybody who cares about you, it affects them.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wisdom. I erased your last comment, and I didn't mean to do that. I actually meant to. Shit. I meant to erase my comment because I didn't finish it. Yeah, there's a person named Wisdom in the comments that I erased his comment. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to erase my comment because it posted before I could finish it. Because what I was trying to say is, God forbid that you have a wedgie or have something stuck in your teeth when you get arrested, because you're just going to have to deal with that until until you can get your hands free. But sorry about that, Wisdom. I didn't mean to erase your comment. I really didn't mean to do that. So please feel free to write that comment again, because I didn't even get a chance to read it. I almost messed around and erased E and Vi A's comment too. So I'm just gonna leave this alone. I'll do all my talking. No more writing for me. But yeah, back to you, Natasha. Yeah, I'm really glad that you called in today, because you know this is further validation of what I was trying to get across. And I'm not so sure if I would have been able to paint the picture to the audience that you have helped me do today. So I want to really thank you for calling in. That was great.
Well, thank you so much for your call. I sent you a message in your one of your videos and said, "Hey, I'm trying to get in touch with you," and then I got embarrassed because you said why, and I was like, "Oh, someone's gonna think that I'm searching for this guy or being thirsty or something."
No. So you have to understand. Oh, damn, she got cut off. Well, hopefully she's still in the comments. I get, especially lately, I've been getting some weird interaction with people in comments and my inbox and all kinds of crazy shit. So, you know, don't take it personally. Like, listen, I'm very accessible, but I'm not going to be accessible to dickheads. So, but you never know. So, you know, depending on listen, I don't like to match energy. I like to exceed it or discard of it. So, um, yeah, but I don't have a problem with anybody getting in touch with me. As a matter of fact, I don't know if she saw that when she commented on the show and asked for my contact information or how could she contact me. I actually gave her my email address. So I'll give the email address to any of you who would like to contact me about like she did a show idea, or if you have a question that you don't want to have raised here and you think I can help you out with it, I'd be more than willing to help you with something like that if it is within my knowledge and my power. And that's so you can contact me at sun752 at aol.com. I have the balls to write that. Okay, sun752 at aol.com. Boom. Boomsville. So there you have it. There you have it. If y'all want to get in touch with me off air, you can get in touch with me that way. All right. So, I want to thank Natasha for calling in once again. That was a very good conversation. It was very enlightening, and for some reason or somehow, it totally fit the narrative of the show today. We about to get on the body here. I want to thank all of y'all for being a great audience today. I hope that what we were talking about today somehow helped us understand or have more insight into how the incarceration system works, the legal system, and how it doesn't even matter sometimes if you're right or you're wrong. If you get locked up, it's going to affect the people who care about you, because they don't have access to you. They have to ask to have access to you, and you have to ask if they can access you. And all of that is going to be very, very limited. Very, very limited. Please hit the like button, y'all. Share the show. Subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would appreciate it. It helps the channel to grow. Wisdom says, I work many jobs, but never let my wife work. Okay. All right. Cool. We're about to do these birthday shout outs, and then we're going to get on about it here. Quentin, thanks for coming through, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the compliment. All right. So let's do it. Let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special, because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Shayna D. Carney, turning 40 years old today. Happy birthday to you. And Aisha Selden, happy birthday to you. And Bernadette Perkins, turning 32 years old today. Happy birthday to you. And also Chantel Rumble, happy birthday. And Dios Marie de la Rosa, happy birthday to you. And Brenda Luis, turning 51 years old today. And Wanda Clemens, happy birthday to you, turning 58 years old today. And last but not least, my man comedian, Philly comedian, Denny Live, happy birthday to you. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious May 5th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen. getting locked up, getting arrested, doing time is not something that you want to do. And we don't always think about how other people have to do the time with us when we get locked up. I know this was a sensitive topic today. We normally talk about relationships and friendships and family stuff and jobs and how, some people don't do you right, and sometimes how you just have to roll with the punches. But this is an important thing, especially for people who have the hue and the color and the shade that I have, or any variation of such. So, we have to also we have to consider the person who is incarcerated, whether they are guilty of the crime or not guilty of the crime. And we also have to think about the babies. We have to think about the wives. We have to think about the husbands, the spouses, the brothers, the sisters, the aunts, uncles, the cousins, the moms, the dads, the neighbors, the students, the friends. All of those people are affected when you are locked down. And you are really, really affected along with them, because you're going to need their help, and they're going to have to try to find a way to help you. And they may not all be able to, or not be willing to, or not know how to. So we have to help each other out. But you can help yourself out first and foremost by trying to do the right things as you know them, the real right things. Like I said, as a black man, my number one job to my family, my community, and my loved ones, and my babies is to stay my ass right here on this side of the bars instead of in jail, because I am no help in any way to anybody if I'm behind bars. I ain't trying to educate the prisoners. I'm trying to educate the free so they don't become prisoners. Prisoners get enough help. Free health care, free psychological care. They get what they need, whether they take advantage of those things or not. Plus, you can get your teeth fixed, like I've been encouraged to do, and they can also get their feet fixed. Get those bunions up off you. Yeah, you can get your bunions off. Yeah. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night. Y'all know that we're normally on 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and tomorrow will be no exception. So please come through. Always support the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Always support the Daily Go Getimism show. And please, man, hit that like button. 8 likes. That's how we doing. All of this relevant information. We got great callers calling in, wonderful people in the chat, and we only get 8 likes. Really? Well. Naughty. Shame. For shame. But it's okay. It's okay. Keep supporting. Keep coming on through. Even if you don't have nothing nice to say, just keep coming on through. I appreciate you, Natasha. And so we're going to get on up out of here. All right. So Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah. And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. 1, 2, on the other side, my boobers. 4, 3, 4. Never mind, I'm fucked up the rhyme. I'm out of here. Peace, y'all. Have a great day.